welcome to the Digital Health and Fitness Live Studio sponsored by United Healthcare. I am Dr. Eric Eiting here at CES 2017. With me right now, I have Dr. Amir Kalali.
Hi
Amir
there.
is the Global Head of Neuroscience for Quintiles. Welcome, Amir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. So you just finished up a panel. Talk to us about what you were just speaking about.
Sure, we moderated a panel on the role of texting in healthcare, which is kind of surprising because at CES we have, AR, VR, all the latest shiny objects.
Right.
And the panel was really interesting because really taking texting, which seems very basic, but it's something that everyone uses,
Yep.
everyone's familiar with, and has the immediacy. So we had a whole range of folks that you'll interview later that really showed how different companies or sectors, from healthcare to pharma, are really leveraging texting to really improve the friction there is right now in pure accessing, whether it's crisis care, whether it's pharma.
Right.
So it's very interesting how something that we wouldn't really think of as being too obvious
Right.
really has really good use cases in helping healthcare versus something shiny and new that is a new technology.
Well, and I think what's so funny too is that it's like you say, texting is so basic, but in healthcare, it's almost like this third rail because of all of the security issues
Yep.
behind it. We worry about protecting people's information,
Yep.
and so it's something that we've sort of not really touched all that much.
So
in
the
healthcare.
couple of things came about that. One was that most of the companies using it have secure apps for texting, so it's very
Right.
secure.
Right.
Also, one person mentioned that most conversations like that, if you phone your doctor or many others, they're not really recorded. There's no sort of track of that. Whereas with texting, you actually could look at that and maybe in the future always use AI and other things to sort of analyze that. So
Right.
it has a record in places where right now there really hasn't been a record of those conversations.
Yep, excellent. So now you are kind of one of these guys who has your hands in a little bit of everything, and,
Yep.
and I know you've been coming to CES for a long time. What is it that's exciting to you? What keeps you coming back? And talk to us a little bit about your trajectory.
Sure. So in the old days, I used to come to CES just for the technology
Yeah.
in general, and there was absolutely no healthcare whatsoever. And very slowly over the last 5 or 6 years, we've started with a very small area, and right now we're sitting in a giant stadium.
Right. We have our own
size,
studio, yeah.
Right, and but all around us are just so many healthcare companies. What's interesting to me is not just healthcare companies, but pretty much every industry seems to wanting to get into healthcare.
Yep.
So people that you just wouldn't think of, from car manufacturers to telecoms, they all have booths talking about how they're getting into healthcare, which is fascinating to me because they never used to be in healthcare.
Yep.
So it's a very popular thing to get into.
Yeah.
And this whole stadium we're seeing right now shows just how important to all industries improving health has become.
Yep, absolutely. You're 100% right. So
Right.
great. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
joining us, Amir Kalali with
My pleasure.
Quintiles. Very good.
Thank you.
I'm Eric Eiting at the Digital Health and Fitness Live Studio sponsored by United Healthcare at CES 2017.